Okay, so we will start with the southern blotting technique. It is also called as southern hybridization technique. So what do you mean by blotting technique? The technique, it is a technique where the separated DNA or nucleic acid, you can say DNA, RNA, or protein, they are immobilized on a solid support. Solid support in the sense on the paper or on a membrane membranes, anything. So you can directly transfer it into the membrane paper. So there are different blotting procedures depending upon which type of molecules you're going to transfer on the membrane paper. So which are the different blotting techniques are there? So as you can see, for the DNA, when you are separating DNA to the membrane paper, it is called southern blot. When you are transferring the RNA, it is called northern blot. When you are transferring the protein, it is called western blot. But there is no eastern blot because there is not yet anything else remaining. If you are doing some research and if you find any new technique, you can discover the eastern blot technique also. So in your syllabus, you are only having a southern blot hybridization. So what is exactly southern blotting technique or a southern hybridization? We will see that. So when the DNA fragments are transferred on the membrane filter paper, it is called a southern blot. Why it is called southern blot? Because it was first developed by a scientist called Edward Southern in 1975. So on honor of him, they gave the technique name southern blot. And since it is already given the southern blot for the DNA, so to memorize it, they have given the for RNA, they have given the name northern because southern is for DNA. So exactly opposite RNA is then northern, and the remaining protein they have given the eastern. Okay. So for the southern blot, it is used to verify the presence or absence of specific nucleotide sequence in the DNA from the different sources. So what exactly in southern hybridization happens? Like suppose I want to find out a specific DNA sequence, which is you can say in a diabetes patient. All of you know, in the diabetes patient, insulin levels are affected. So I want to find out which are the genes responsible for the insulin production. So I don't know, as you all of you know, DNA is a long sequence. So in that particular DNA, which sequence or which are the you can say nucleotides are responsible for insulin production. So I want to find out that. So when I'm taking a DNA from a patient, diabetes patient, and I'm going to study whether that person is having a normal insulin production or not. So what I'm going to see, whatever DNA I'm taking, in that DNA, the insulin production genes are present or not. I want to find out that. So for that particular technique, we are using the southern blot technique. So as I have already told you, that southern blotting technique is allows for detection of a specific DNA sequence in a large or a complex sample of DNA. Okay, so this techniques basically involve the separation of DNA, then transfer onto the nitrocellulose paper, and then after transfer, it is done the hybridization. So the main important key in this technique is hybridization. So what do you mean by hybridization? It is a process where you can form the double-stranded DNA molecule from the single-stranded DNA probe. I think Shah ma'am has already told you what is a probe, right? So it is a single DNA probe, which is a complementary to your target DNA. So that probe forms the single-stranded target DNA के साथ वो double strand form करता है. So this process of formation of double bond is called hybridization. So what is the principle behind the southern hybridization? In southern hybridization, first, all of you have studied the electrophoresis in SY level, right? Yes or no? Okay. So in that, what you have done, you have simply separated the DNA fragments, DNA. You have first cutted the long DNA sequence into small fragments, and depending upon their molecular weight, you have you have separated in the electrophoresis unit. So similarly, in southern blotting, first you have taking a unknown sample from the patient. You have taken the DNA sample from the patient, and what you will do, you will cut it with the restriction enzyme into small fragments, and these fragments then loaded on the in the electrophoretic gel, and with the help of power supply, you will first separate those DNA fragments according to their size in the uh, uh, gel. Okay, so after that, this the gel which are having your target DNA, it is then transferred to the nitrocellulose paper. Okay, then after that, the blot this blot first treated with the denatured to denature the double stranded DNA. Okay, as you know that DNA, whatever you are taking, it is a double stranded, but you want a single strand. Why? Because you require to hybridize it with the help of probe. So you have to first again, you have to denature into the single strand. Then the paper is then treated. The once the paper having a single stranded DNA, it is treated with the DNA probe, which are already radio labeled. So since it is already radio label, it is helpful to detect your specific targeted DNA. Okay, then unhybridized probes, whatever, like when you are adding a probes, it is not necessary all the fragments they will attach to the probes. Okay, only the specific DNA will attach to your probes. So remaining are removed, and then the blot, whatever the nitrocellulose paper is there, it is autoradiograph. That is under the UV. You can check whether whether your separation has your targeted DNA or not. So as it says, the only bands containing DNA hybridized to radioactive probes will expose to photographic film. Okay. The exposed band will be indicated that the band in the gel contains the desired DNA. So we will see exactly how it is happened. So these are four basic steps. First, DNA separation. Second, blot on the membrane paper. Then third, label with the specific DNA probe. And fourth, detect the probe. And as you can see here, the technique. First, you have to DNA separation with the help of gel electrophoresis. As you can see, this is a standard uh, markers, and these are your samples. This you have to separate it with the help of gel electrophoresis. After gel electrophoresis, the same you have to transfer it on the membrane paper, and after that you have to label it with the DNA probes, and then after the radioactive autoradiogram, you will see only the bands which are adhere, or you can say which forms the double stranded DNA with the help of DNA probes. Only those bands. Here you can see there are many bands are there, but only those DNA fragments which are attached to your DNA probes will show you the band. So in this, all these samples, you will come to know only one. These many samples are having my specific targeted DNA. Rest are unwanted DNA. So according to that, then I will only use that specific sequence and then start with my further study. So we will see step by step. In the first step, you have to step one is DNA separation. So what is the first step of southern hybridization? That is a DNA separation, where you are extracting the DNA from the cells, and it is and then it is make it to purified form. But as you can see here, the DNA is very long. Since it is very long, it will not show you any band. it will show you just a clump on your gel. Okay, so to separate it into the different fragments, you have to cut the DNA into small pieces. How you are going to cut the DNA with the into the small pieces? With the help of restriction enzymes. You have already studied in your SY that restriction enzymes have a specific site which cut the DNA at their specific sequence, and you will get the small fragments. So once this whole DNA sample is treated with the restriction enzyme, you will get the small fragments of DNA. Now this sample, what I will do then, in that I will add a tracking dye. You have seen bromophenol blue, which is a blue color dye. It is added into the DNA sample because DNA is colorless, right? So if you are adding only that sample, then you will not able to see any how much your gel is run. So generally we add a bromophenol blue. Okay, so you will come to know, okay, मैंने sample load किया. Then you have to load the samples on your wells, electrophoresis gel. Okay, as you know that DNA is negatively charged molecule. So when you apply the electric field or electric current, so in that electric field, the negatively charged DNA molecule will run towards a positive pole. Okay, so this separation occurs according to their molecular weight. If you remember, I have in FI I told you there are if there are three persons like 100 kg person, 80 kg, and 50 kg person, and I asked them to run 100 meters. So who will run fast? Obviously 50 kg person because his weight is less. And then second number 80 kg, and the third one is 100 kg. Similarly, when you are running the DNA fragments in an electrophoretic unit, according to their weight, the separation occurs. So here you can see the first band is very near to your loading point. So it is having a higher molecular weight, whereas the one which is at the bottom, who is having a very low molecular weight, it will move fast. Okay. So according to their molecular weight, the separation occurs. Okay, after this separation occurs, you are adding in the gel, you add a ethidium bromide. Why ethidium bromide? Because though you adding a bromophenol blue, you will just come to know that मेरा sample यहाँ तक run हुआ है. But how many fragments are there, you cannot see. So when you are adding a ethidium bromide, you will and that gel, if you keep it in autoradiograph or a UV light, you will come to know that in that lane there are many bands are there. So ethidium bromide is used to detect the DNA fragments in the gel. Okay, why I'm specifically emphasizes on this, because these are since you are having a MCQ questions. So these kind of questions we will ask. What is the first step of southern hybridization? So it is a DNA separation technique. Then what is a dye used for detection of DNA in the gel? So it is a ethidium bromide. Okay. So now after on the gel, you have done the electrophoresis, you have separated the DNA fragments. So now what comes next? You have to blot it on the membrane paper. So how you are going to blot it? Blot means you have to transfer from gel to the paper. How you are going to do that? Okay, and you have to be very careful. It should not disturb your gel. So blotting means exactly you have to make a replica which is there on the gel onto the paper. Okay. So for that, the blotting technique is there. There is one specific arrangement is there where you can see you have to take a one tank. In that tank, you have to at the middle, you have to keep some support or a plastic support or any inert support, and on that support you have to add some filter paper bridge, but you have to keep it in a such a way that the tips of those filter papers, can you see here my arrow, the tips of the filter papers are dipped in the buffer which is present in the tank. The buffer is generally sodium sulfite or alkaline buffer. Okay. Then on that filter paper, you have to keep the agarose gel, electrophoresis का वो जो gel है, that gel on which you have separated your DNA fragments. Okay. After that agarose gel, you have to on that above that gel, you have to add a nylon membrane or a nitrocellulose filter paper, anything will do. Okay, above that a stack of filter papers you have to keep and then put some weight so that it will not disturb or it will not move here and there. कोई किसी ने धक्का दिया तो it will not shuffle. Okay, so you have to keep it overnight and वैसे. So what exactly this is a one traditional method, but nowadays since it is a you have this process is required 12 to 16 hours because capillary flow method से होता है. So ये first this bottom वाला filter paper it will absorb the buffer from the tank and then it will transfer to the agarose gel and then after that to the nylon filter paper and like this. So it is a time consuming. So nowadays there are different methods are there like a vacuum blotting where you have to keep it in a tank where a buffer is there, and यहाँ पे you can see the gel is above and the nitrocellulose membrane is below and there is pores. So you have to, with the help of vacuum, you have to suck the whatever buffer is that within a 1 to 3 hours, you can get whatever there in the gel, all the bands were appeared on your nitrocellulose paper. Also, there is another method. It is called the electric field. As you know, the DNA is transmission, and on the opposite side, if you put a filter paper, and when you pass the current, the negatively charged molecules they will travel towards the positive end, and on that side, if you are having a paper, so they will directly blot on the paper. So, what exactly happened in that procedure when you are blotting? The restriction fragments which are present in the gel are denatured. Okay, you have to transfer it from the gel to. तो मुझे वो जेल में से निकाल के वो फिल्टर पेपर में जानी चाहिए. I cannot scrap it, right? So when you are applying a alkali and since it is an acid, nucleic acid, so they denatured the DNA from the gel and it is transferred on the nitrocellulose paper. Okay. So you will see, so exact replica was prepared on the paper. Okay, after that, what you are going to do, you have to, after the replica is formed, you have to add the probes. Allow the paper to dry and then add the responsible for insulin production. So what I will do, I will prepare a probe which is complementary to that sequence. Okay, as you know, A to T, C to G complementary है. अगर मेरे एक strand पे A रहेगा तो it will bind to T, C रहेगा तो it will bind to G. Okay, so I know which is the gene responsible for insulin production. So what I will do, I will prepare a probe which is a complementary to that sequence and I will add one indicator label or you can say auto radio labeled radio label tagging like phosphate or a sulfur, something like which is a radio label. I will add to that single stranded DNA probe. Okay, so now what I will do, I will treat it with my nitrocellulose filter paper. So when I am adding a solution to the filter paper, obviously it will scan all the bands, the probes. First band पे जाएगा, it will see a as you here you can see a के पास जाएगा whether I am able to attach it, फिर B के पास जाएगा whether I am going to attach it. So according to that it will scan whole the paper, and wherever it has its complementary sequence, it will attach to that fragment. Okay. After that, I will as you can see, I will wash the paper with the probes, and after that, unbound probes, I will wash with again the buffer. So here you can see only the A band, it will bind with the probe, whereas B is not complementary, so the excess of the probes are washed out. Okay, and once this steps is done, I will detect the pattern of hybridization by two techniques, that is by autoradiogram on X-ray film or with the help of color on the membrane paper. Like some dyes I can use, and I can check on the whether my whatever the separated samples are having my specific sequence or not. Okay. So this is the summary for the whole. First, I will separate the DNA into small fragment by electrophoresis. Then after that, I will transfer it by the blotting technique. This is a blotting technique on the membrane filter. So here you can see it is an exact replica on the paper from whatever the separation you can see on the gel. Then I will treat that paper with the probe, and after that probes, I will wash the excess of probes with the buffer, and this treated the nitrocellulose paper treated with the probe, I will expose to X-ray film. Okay, and then in autoradiogram, I will come to know that whatever the separated samples I am having, this is my standard marker. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 are matching with my standard marker. So these three are my interested fragments, whereas others are not. Okay. So this way, I will just show you one video, so you will come to know what exactly, how exactly it looks.
Let's go back to Elizabeth Vargas out there in the internet.
Out there in cyber. In the previous video, we understood the concept probes.
You can just tell me whether
we
you
learned
can.
That the basis of.
Can you see? Can you see the video? Just yes or no, you can message me. Okay. Can you hear it also?
Nucleic acid hybridization is the complementary base pairing. Let's now understand what doing on which biological molecules such as proteins and nucleic acids are adsorbed or immobilized, and the process of transferring these molecules from a gel to a membrane, followed by their detection on the membrane, is known as blotting. When the macromolecule involved is DNA, the technique is known as Southern blotting. Southern is the last name of the scientist who first blotted DNA. He is Sir Edwin Miller Southern. By analogy, blotting involving RNA is known as Northern blotting. And for protein, this technique is known as Western blotting. Both Southern and Northern blotting techniques are based on nucleic acid hybridization. Let's now study Southern blotting in detail. Southern blotting has been used for the detection of a specific DNA fragment in a given mixture of DNA fragments or total cell DNA. Let's understand the details of this technique step by step. Suppose we have isolated gene DNA from bacteria. Now we want to find out whether gene or DNA sequence of interest is present in this bacterial genome or not. Recall that the researcher already knows the nucleotide composition of our DNA sequence. The first step the bacterial DNA is digested with a restriction enzyme. This step results in thousands of DNA fragments of various sizes. This is because the restriction enzyme cuts the chromosomal DNA at many different sites within the chromosome. The researcher already knows that target DNA sequence would be present within a specific restriction enzyme site. That restriction enzyme is used for the step of DNA digestion. The second step is the DNA gel electrophoresis. The separation of DNA fragments resulting from the first step is done by gel electrophoresis. The DNA fragments get separated according to their molecular weights. Here we need to note something. These separated DNA fragments are double-stranded. But for hybridization step, we require single-stranded DNA fragments. Therefore, before moving to the next step, these DNA fragments are denatured in the gel. This is done by exposure of deltamyl alkali. The gel is soaked in a denaturing solution which contains sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide denatures the DNA by disrupting hydrogen bonds between the two complementary strands. In the third step, blotting is done. This means the DNA fragments are transferred from the gel to a suitable membrane. This membrane can be nitrocellulose membrane or nylon membrane. Nowadays, the most preferred membrane for such transfer of nucleic acids is nylon membrane. This is because it has a high tensile strength and better binding capacity for nucleic acids. So, how this transfer is carried out? You all must have come across this diagram showing transfer step of southern blotting in your books. This traditional way to transfer the DNA to the membrane. The basis of this transfer is the capillary action. Let's have a look at the transfer assembly. This is filled with a suitable transfer buffer. A support for gel and membrane is kept in this buffer. This is usually a glass plate. An absorbent paper or blotting papers are placed on this support. These are placed such that they imbibe the buffer. They act as a wick. Next, gel containing DNA is placed on the top of it. A nylon membrane of the same size as that of the gel is placed over it. Again, a thick stack of blotting papers or absorbent paper is placed over the membrane. This is followed by 3 to 4 inches of paper towels. And this complete stack of gel, membrane, blotting papers, and paper towels are pressed down by putting a weight on top. The buffer or liquid from the tray now rises through the gel, taking with it the DNA molecules. Once the DNA molecules reach the nylon membrane, they become adsorbed tightly to the membrane and are retarded. The remaining liquid passes through the paper and is absorbed by the paper towels placed at the top. During this transfer, the DNA fragments retain the same pattern separation they had on the gel. A method is similar to the procedure I have already explained in the video lecture on Western blotting. The difference is that here, we are transferring negatively charged DNA molecules from the gel to the membrane instead of proteins. The next step is hybridization and washing. In this step, the nylon membrane is now incubated with many copies of a nucleic acid probe. Let's say a labeled single-stranded DNA molecule under appropriate conditions. We know that probe will bind to the target sequence by complementary base pairing and form a double-stranded DNA hybrid. So, the probe hybridizes with the DNA fragment that is complementary to it. Unbound probes are removed by washing. The fifth step, detection of the bound probe, is carried out. We find the location of the double-stranded hybrid formed in the previous step. the probe is detected by autoradiography, fluorescence, or a color change, depending on what label we have used in the probe. So, these were the main steps of southern blotting technique.
Okay, so all of you understood what is exactly the southern blot. Now, what are the applications? Like where you are going to use this southern blot? As it is said, it is used to isolate the DNA, desired DNA for construction of recombinant DNA library. Okay, so as you have studied the cDNA library, and also in that, if I want to check whether my library is having that specific target DNA or not. So to check that, you are using the southern hybridization. Again, you have studied the mutations, deletions, whatever the rearrangement. So I want to check whether in my DNA sequence any mutation is there, any deletion of the genes is there. To check that, I will also use the southern hybridization technique. Also, it is used for gene discovery. Any new genes are there, sequencing I want to do. So for that, mapping, evolution and development studies, and diagnostic studies, or any forensic sciences studies, this technique is used. Okay, it is also as I says key. Forensic sciences में. So I want to most of you have like in your childhood you have seen that CID कि उसमें बोलते कि forensic कि ये they take whatever the skeleton and it says कि whether it is a female skeleton or not, or child इसका है या नहीं. So for that you are using for paternity testing. So for that paternity testing, this southern hybridization, then parcel identification, like from skeleton they will come to know whether it is a for female है या male है. Okay, sex determinations के लिए. Then genetically modified organisms में, because we are modifying it genetically, I want to check from the normal organism whether it is genetically modified or not. They are using this southern hybridization technique. Again, for the cancer patients and all, any genetic diseases are there like Down syndrome and all, because specific what you can say chromosomal aberrations are there. So for that they are using this technique. Okay, again then phylogenetic analysis के लिए, HIV detection के लिए, and other screening of libraries, this southern hybridization is